Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Manju and Jing. Good morning. Now let's go ahead with our Samadhi, with our lecture on Samadhi. As always, we will do the prayer first. Let's sit upright, place our palms together, and concentrate on the prayer below. We take refuge with our kind mental Bani. We take refuge with Shakyamuni Buddha. We take refuge with all the triple jewel of the 10 directions and the 3 periods of time, verse for a near future, that surpass profound and wonderful Dharma. In hundreds of millions of years is difficult to encounter. We now see and hear it, receive and uphold it, and we vow to fathom the Tathagata's true meaning, and we vow to practice the Tathagata's true way, and we vow to attain the Tathagata's true state. We vow that we can spontaneously express the Buddha's understanding, Buddha's view, Buddha's wisdom, Buddha's merit and virtue, Buddha's capability, and Buddha's state through our actions, speech, and thoughts. We also vow that all the living beings can enter into the Buddha's understanding, Buddha's view, Buddha's wisdom, Buddha's merit and virtue, Buddha's capability, and Buddha's state owing to us. So that's the prayer for today's lecture. Yesterday we learned one more sentence about humanity. Today, the current society, the people here, the people in the current society. What kind of people? They only see the shadows on the cave wall. Today's people is just like the people who live in the cave and just can see the shadows on the window. On the cave walls, cave wall. So that's it. Let's listen to the video and try to recite it again.
Humanity today is like the people who have only seen the shadows on the cave wall. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know, but there is thoughts. Humanity today is like the people who have only seen the shadows on the cave wall. Humanity today is like the people who have only seen the shadows on the cave wall. Humanity today is like the people who have only seen the shadows on the cave wall.
Yeah. So, who would like to try to recite it? Yesterday, we learned yesterday. Yeah, hello, Grace. Good morning.
Hi,听到吗?
Yeah, hi. Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Yeah, I recited.
Yeah, recite it.
Yes. Humanity today is like people who've only seen the shadow, or who've only seen the shadow on the fake world.
Wow. One more time, please.
Yeah. Humanity today is like people who've only seen the shadow on the cave wall.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, fantastic. So excellent. Thank you, Grace. And then Jean. Yeah, hello. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
You can recite it, right?
Yeah, 好，我来背一下。
Yes, please.
Humanity today is like the people who've only seen the shadows on the cave wall.
Wow, genius. Yes, it's so wonderful. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for your listening and for your attention to the sentence. 非常感恩您一直在听，而且 对，引起了您的很大的关注注意，所以 so you can recite it. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. Now let's go ahead with our new sentence. Oh, I will recite it for you. Okay. Humanity today is just like the people who've only seen the shadows on the cave wall. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Now let's go ahead with our new sentence about the shadows. What kind of shadows? And then the producer, the author, write the shadows are analogous to our thoughts. You know, there are many shadows in our thoughts. Okay, let's go ahead with this sentence.
Humanity today is like the people who have only seen the shadows on the cave wall. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know, but the shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Yeah, there are two sentences here. Sentence 51 and 52. Two sentences here. Let's double check. What's that? Okay.
Shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. The
shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. Yeah, it's terrible. In this way, we know that our minds, our minds are full of thinking. Thinking for thinking. Okay, let's go ahead with the new word. Be analysis too. Be analogous. I cannot remember. Analogous. Not analysis. Analysis, it means 分析. Here, analogous, it means similar to. Analogous. Let's double check. Analogous. And it is an adjective, adjective. And it means sometimes there is a phrase like be analogous to, and it means be analogous to, it means be similar. Be analogous to, it also means be similar to. So they have the similar meaning, the same meaning. Be analogous. Analogous. So here, sorry. I think we need to use this one. Sorry. Here, analogous. To separate this analogous and to separate this sentence in this way, and to separate this new word in this way, analogous. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 syllables together. 4 syllables together and stress is on the second syllable, right? Analogous. And G-O-U-S, G here should be sound like G. O-U-S, us. O-U-S, us. Analogous. It means similar in some way to another thing. Similar in some way to another thing. Here, similar to another thing in some way, in somehow, or situation. Similar to another thing or similar to another situation, and therefore be able to compare with it. So are you clear with this sentence, with this new word, analogous? Be analogous to. This is a phrase. This phrase, it also means be similar to. So in this sentence, the shadows are analogous to our thoughts. It means that the shadows are like our thoughts. The shadows are similar to our thoughts, So that's it. It's very simple, right? And the second sentence, the world of thinking is the only world that we know. The world of thinking. So what kind of world? The thinking. The word of thinking, just the word in our thinking, We just think, the word of thinking here, the world is the main noun of thinking, as a ADJ, as an ADJ to describe the word. What kind of word? Thinking word. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. And here we need to pay attention to that. That induces, leaves a relative clause. Relative clause, 定语从句. Relative clause, the only. And when there is some word such as the only, the very, the same, the last in the sentence. Here there is the only. In this sentence. So here that we know here that we cannot replace the by. Here that we cannot replace by which, because there is the word that the only, the phrase the only. So we can just use that and cannot use which. Because when there is a phrase such as the only, the very, the same, the last in the sentence, to describe the main word, the main noun, noun, the main noun, and after that, that cannot be placed by which. This is a very important grammatic issue we need to keep in mind, okay? This world. Can you see that? The only. Yes, the only, the very, the same, the last in the sentence. Here, the only. And then the link word need to be used that can use which. So that's it. Very simple. Today's lecture is very simple. Although there are two sentences, but they are quite easy. Let's shadow it.
Are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Okay, this time let's find out the stressed words, okay?
Shadows are analogous to our thoughts.
Shadows. Here, shadows is a noun. We need to highlight it, or we need to stress it. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. Thoughts. So here, if you are doing the listening, you know that shadows analogous thoughts. You know that shadows like thoughts. Okay, and let's go ahead.
The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
The thinking, world of thinking is the only world that we know. We know. Cause we is a pronoun, we cannot stress we, but know is a, know is a verb, right? So we need to stress it. Let's double check all the stressed words, okay, for this time.
Shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Right? So we need to shadow like this. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking. So here, we need to waken it. Waken it. The word of thinking. The word of thinking. The only word is the only word is the only word that we know. That we need to pronounce like the that we know. So here the cannot be placed by which, but can be omitted. Yeah, you can omit it because we know the word. We know the only word. We can omit it, but we cannot use which. So pay attention to it. So let's double check. Let's double check the stressed words again. Okay.
The shadows are analogous to our thoughts.
Shadows we can use like this. So in this way we can shadow it more similarly. Okay. The shadows of the shadows are analogous to our thoughts. Okay.
The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
The world of thinking. The world of thinking. The world of thinking is the only word that we know. Yes. So can you touch the melody? Can you? So that's it. Let's go ahead to do the shadow, okay? Who would like to try to shadow it? Oh, Grace, you can. Yes, Grace, you please.
Yes. Thank
Good
you.
morning, Grace. Okay, I will play it for you, okay? 2 sentences together.
Yes.
The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Yes, you please.
Yes. The shadows are analogous to our thought. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Wow, genius. Genius. So we cannot stress that we know.
We know. We know.
Yeah, no. Yes,
We
perfect.
know.
One more
Yes.
time. I will play it for you and then one more time.
The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. But
Yes, you please. Grace, one more time.
Yes. The shadows are analogous to our thought. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Wow, perfect, perfect. Yes. Yes, much better than the first time. Yes, amazing. Thank you so much. So who would like to try more? Time for us to practice. Let's double check, okay?
the shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Yeah, the shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. Yes, great. Alice, you please. Alice. Good
Yeah,
morning, Alice.
yeah, good
Yes.
morning, Enid.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so great to hear you. You please.
okay. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Yeah, that we need to the we know.
Oh,
That we know.
is a weaker form.
Yeah, weak form. Yeah, weak form. I will play it for you, okay? One more time.
Okay.
Yes, I think you can touch the melody. It's very beautiful. Thank you. I will play it again.
Shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. But
Yes, you please.
Okay. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Yes, yes. You see that we know. Yeah, if you awaken that we and know should naturally, spontaneously you stress no, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so beautiful, so beautiful. That we know. Yeah, that we know, that we know. Yes, perfect. All right. I will follow it. I will shadow it. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The words of thinking is the only word that we know. Yes, perfect. I think, yeah, here, the word of thinking. Let's double check the thinking.
Shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Thinking of is very weak, right? The word of thinking. Yes, that's it in this time. So time for us to recite it. Who would like to try to recite it? Yeah, time for us. The shadows. What kind of shadows? The shadows analogous to our thoughts. And the word thinking is the only words that we know, right? Okay, I just remember. Okay, Grace, your time to memorize it. Yeah, to recite it, to read it from memory, please.
Yeah,
Grace.
okay. The shadows are analogous to our thought. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
That
Yeah,
we know. That
we
we
know.
know.
We know.
Yes, perfect.
Yes.
One more time. Yes, the content is perfect. 4 marks. Yeah, one more time.
The shadow analogous to our thought. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Yes, perfect
Mm,
now. Yeah, so
that we know.
fantastic. Fast learner. Yeah, fast learner. You learn it so fast. Have a good command of it. That we know. Yeah, that we know. Okay, Alice, your time now, please.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. The shadows are that. Yeah, the shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The word of thinking is the only word that we know.
Wow, so wonderful. Yeah, one more time.
Okay. The shadows. Yeah, the shadows. Shadows or shadows.
Shadows, yeah.
Shadows. Okay.
梅花音 shadows, yeah.
Okay. Shadows. Okay. Thank you. The shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The word of thinking is the only word that we know.
Wow. Yes, wonderful. So beautifully, your intonation. Yeah, you did it so well. You
Thank you.
deal with the intonation in a beautiful way. Okay, thank you. The shadows analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. Yeah, I just remember it. I just recited it for you. The shadows analogous to our thoughts. To our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know. Is the only world that we know. Well, double check this.
Shadows are analogous to our thoughts. The world of thinking is the only world that we know.
Is the only world. Is the only world we know. That is the only world that we know. Yeah, that we know. Perfect. Now, who would like to try more? To try to recite them? If not, let's go ahead with yeah. Let's look back. Let's look back at the grammar issues. Yeah, here there are 2 points. First one is analogous. Analogous is pay attention to G. The pronunciation of G is like g. Yeah, analogous instead of analogies. And yeah, sometimes I made a mistake and pronounced this word analogy. Analogous. No. Analogous. Okay. So here the first point is about the phrase be analogous to. Be analogous to means be similar to, and it also means like. Be like. So and the second point is about the relative clause, the that the world that in the relative clause, and here the that cannot be replaced by which, because there are some words such as the only, the very, the same, the last in the sentence before the main noun word. So here we cannot use which, and but however we can omit it that, because yeah, in the subordinate clause that just work as a object, so we can omit it. Omit it means cancel it. We can cancel it, but we cannot use which. We cannot replace which, but we can cancel it. So that's it. Yeah, it's very interesting, right? That's the two sentences. Yeah, we can keep them in memory now. The shadows are, and so here are should be wakened. The shadows analogous. And yeah, Greens, you are so great at it. Yeah, you're skilled at the shadow. The shadows are analogous. The shadows analogous. Yes, perfect. So that's all for today's lecture. Thank you so much for your active participation, and catch you up next time. Catch you up tomorrow. Same time, same place. Okay. See you then. Good day. Bye.